What's up, beautiful people? How are you? I hope everyone is doing well. I'm going to test the audio on my phone. I know I started like 3 minutes early. I did that intentionally. Give me a second. I'm trying to find my cord real quick. I did that intentionally because I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about today. A lot of things I want to get into and share with you all. Today is going to be intense for a little bit, and then I might cool off and bring it down, and we'll chill out and do a cool down as we exit this scholarship chat. So what I'm doing is I'm on my phone trying to make sure that the audio is coming through. Okay. The audio is coming through. If at any point in time you can't hear me, you can't see me, there's a bad connection, what have you, let me know. If you're in the conversation, go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know who's here. I would love to see who I'm talking to. My name is Danielle Jeffers. I'm the founder of Dough for Degrees, LLC. Dough for Degrees is a scholarship coaching company where we teach students how to earn scholarships to go to college and graduate debt-free. I graduated debt-free from Virginia Tech in May of this year, 2019, having earned more than $200,000 in scholarships. And each Sunday I go live on our YouTube channel, Dough for Degrees YouTube channel, at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time to answer any questions you have about scholarships. That live is known as Dough for Degrees Community Scholarship Chat. Dough for Degrees is a for-profit company. So it says unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. So I'm going to do the same thing I had to do one time before. I'm going to pull up the chat on my phone so I can see whoever drops a comment, but I can't see it on my laptop. So I should be able to see the chat on my phone, and I'll respond from my phone. The reason why we do this live, Dough for Degrees is a for-profit company. That means we are not a nonprofit in terms of we carry a profit each calendar year. We have different ways we bring in income: speaking engagements, products, services, partnerships, collaborations. We do have a nonprofit venture, and that is known as the In My Bag Tour, which will soon be founded and incorporated as the In My Bag Tour Foundation. That is a partnership we have with No More Interviews, LLC, which is a for-profit entity that inspires aspiring entrepreneurs to chase their dreams, especially minorities. If you watch some of the content we dropped this week, then you know that the first video we dropped this week was how to pay for college without debt, which I'm expecting that video to go viral and to help a lot of people because I give ways to pay for college without taking out a student loan. Then I'll tell you a little bit about how I paid for college without taking out any student loan debt. I also dropped Friends Support Friends, which is No More Interviews. They were doing their debut t-shirt sale, the OG edition of the No More Interviews t-shirt. And I shot a video to help encourage people to buy their t-shirt. If you supported them, thank you in advance. If you didn't support them this time, go ahead and follow them on Instagram at No More Interviews 777. You can go watch that video. In the description box of that video is all of the information regarding their podcast, hide it in a book, regarding their Facebook, Twitter, everything. Corey and Kevin, they're my best friends. And we did a joint venture called the In My Bag Tour this past summer. So we went to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Danville, Virginia, and we gave away more than 500 book bags filled with school supplies. And between the two cities, two students in those cities. Danville, Virginia is my hometown, and Corey, that's his hometown, Philadelphia. And then we also gave away 100 teacher appreciation gifts in each city. So we gave away 200 total. If you want to watch how that took place, how we executed that, go ahead and check out the In My Bag Tour playlist on Dough for Degrees YouTube channel. There is like 8 videos, I think, that recap the highlights of the tour and our experience promoting the event within each city and getting the word out, things like that. So go ahead and watch that when you get a chance. Check it out. But today I'm going to talk about something very, very important to helping you earn scholarships and a perspective you'll need to be successful in life. Before I go into that, let me give you a heads up. So the way this scholarship chat works is if you have a question or a comment about scholarships, please drop it in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer your question or comment. As I go on this journey a little bit to talk about leadership in the earlier minutes of this conversation, I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm going to check out the comments. I have it on my phone. I don't see that anyone's commented yet. If I need to refresh it, let me know. I'm going to close it and open it again because there's a bad connection on my laptop. Don't know what's going on. Have to figure it out. But I want to talk about impact versus influence. And this is something that applies to a lot of people today, especially people who are my age. I'm 22 years old. Everyone's stuck on being a social media influencer. Now, everyone may not be stuck on this, but it's a term tossed around quite frequently in a lot of conversations. Social media influencer. I have 100,000 followers on Instagram. I can post something and then my people will buy whatever I'm suggesting. What's the difference between an influencer and someone who has impact? In my head, this is how I decide or distinguish the two. Influencers have the ability to kind of train your mind to think a certain way, like a social media influencer who talks about health and fitness. Let's say they post every day and they talk about how to get six-pack abs. That's their focus on their platform. It's how to get six-pack abs. The content you watch from them will influence you to make decisions that will help result in you getting six-pack abs. If that's what you want, if that's what you're committed to, six-pack abs, you follow that influencer. That influencer is going to get paid for doing X, Y, and Z, and they're going to may get paid for a sponsoring their post. They post on social media. They're going to check from that. They have their own brand business, what have you. They leverage their platform and their relationships and their connections to influence other people to buy their products and services. There is nothing wrong with being an influencer. Don't get me wrong. But there is more power in having impact, because once again, influencers kind of shift and change the way you think. It's almost like if you have a ball of clay and you want to make something out of that ball of clay. If I were an influencer, I'm kind of molding a little bit how that ball of clay is going to turn out. And that's contingent upon that ball of clay allowing me to influence it directly, allowing me to have its ears, its mind, its eyes, its attention, and to be able to receive what I'm saying. But someone who has an impact in your life is someone who changes your life forever and therefore changes the way you move and subsequently changes the people's lives that you come into contact with after you finish talking to them, what have you. So let me give you an example. Chick-fil-A. I'm a vegan now. I don't eat meat, dairy. I don't eat any of that. Now, I haven't been this way my whole life. I just committed to being a vegan in October. So I'm really a new vegan, a new person eating a plant-based diet. But Chick-fil-A had an impact on me when I was not a vegan, because I love Chick-fil-A. I would eat Chick-fil-A every single day. When I moved to Woodbridge, the Chick-fil-A is right up the street from where I live. I would be a frequent customer because I love Chick-fil-A. One reason Chick-fil-A impacted me was because of its service. Chick-fil-A distinguishes itself among the competition, especially Popeyes. It's a totally different conversation because of their service. They are consistent in the way they serve their customers. It's quality, it's humility, it's very humble. My pleasure. What can I do for you? How may I help you? What's your name? I can put with this order. They don't just call out order number 267. They say Danielle, Trey, Travis, what have you. They call a name. And so it's very personal and comforting. And then you may not agree with Chick-fil-A's beliefs and their operating system and their Christian standards, what have you. That's a totally different conversation. But what I'm saying is Chick-fil-A has an impact on people, and people consistently buy from Chick-fil-A because of their experience, because of the way it changes and impacts their life. And I haven't met anyone who's been scared to tell someone about Chick-fil-A, because they know if they go to Chick-fil-A, they're going to have a good experience. They're going to walk away feeling happy or something like that. To be honest with you, I've never been to Chick-fil-A. My order has never been messed up at Chick-fil-A. Never. Now, I don't go to Chick-fil-A. I haven't been to Chick-fil-A in months. Really. I don't frequent that place anymore because I can't get my number one with the lemonade. But I think I could still eat the fries. I don't know. I've been cooking more at home, trying to learn how to make vegan meals. Totally different subject. But Chick-fil-A impacted me and therefore impacted my business because I've tried to shape my business and the way we interact with our customers, our consumers, our referral partners, the way Chick-fil-A interacted with me. My pleasure. Thank you. On-time service. Now, I'm still growing. It's a work in progress. It's not perfect. What's up, Cab? Peace. But it's impacted because it was direct. Influencers have the ability to, I think of it like in terms of levels. An influencer is a level below someone who has impact. Now, both of those positions allow you to be a leader and play a leadership role. You are a leader as an influencer, and you're a leader as someone who has impact. But what I want to tug at, or what I want to touch on, is what is leadership? What is good leadership? And so this is from my experience, and also being a leader, also learning from other leaders and being under someone else's leadership. Leadership is selfless. Leadership puts the wants and needs of others above themselves. That doesn't mean you never take care of yourself. That's not what that means. Leadership is selfless and committed to the process and the journey of whatever the end goal is. For me, the end goal is to help 1 million students graduate from college debt free before I'm 30. I'm 22 right now, 8 years. Okay, you follow what I'm saying? So my company will be 4 years old next month in January, but good leadership is selfless. It's committed to each person's step or their maturation of success. It will follow. Good leadership will take you to places that you've never been before. It will help you see things from a new perspective. It will expose you to all the things that could potentially happen for you if you take these steps, that steps, boom, boom, boom. Good leadership has an impact. I hope you're tracking what I'm saying. Good leadership has an impact. It changes the way you operate, the way you think about life, your principles, your morals, your values. If it doesn't change it, it helps to edify or amplify what you already know. Good leadership impacts you and makes you see things a little bit differently. And therefore, in your conversations, in your way of being, in your way of communicating and talking to other people, you talk a little bit differently. And people are like, what's up with you? What you been doing? You changing on me. You're not the same. Good leadership forces you to evolve and grow. That's what good leadership does. So the difference between being an influencer and an impact is leadership. What level are you in your leadership? An influencer may be selfless, but from my experience, they're only selfless to a certain extent, because they're looking more at what they can get. They're looking more at, I need to get my follower count up so I can get a bigger check, what have you. Good leaders aren't in it for the money. They're in it for the people. They're focused on the people and not the dollar. Because if you focus on the people, you know everything else will come to you. But without the people, you won't get anything. So good leadership is focused on the people. Now, I say all this to say something that I touched on in the last community scholarship chat, which was community service. I'm going somewhere with this. I hope if anyone has a question, let me know. If I'm making sense, please let me know too. Community service. Community service will help you win scholarships. I'm not going to sit here and say community service will make sure you win scholarships, because that's not the case, because there are a lot of elements to winning a scholarship, like your grammar, correction, your ability to complete the application correctly, your ability to follow directions and listen and do what the people say. There's a lot of elements to winning a scholarship. Each scholarship is different. But good leadership inevitably forces you to do community service, because once again, good leadership is selfless. And so let me walk you through a little bit of how I stepped into the role of leadership by doing community service, and therefore use that to win my scholarships. So I'm a native of Danville, Virginia. I'm born and raised. I'm from South Central Virginia, right on the border of North Carolina. I went to the Boys and Girls Club. I joined my local Boys and Girls Club the summer before my 6th grade year of middle school. I was a latchkey kid in a way. I grew up as an only child. I do have an older sister. She's often in the chat. But I grew up as an only child. And so I was used to being able to entertain myself, used to being able to have fun by myself. I am a weird mix of an introvert and an extrovert. Today is known as an ambivert. I can be extroverted when I need to be, but primarily I'm an introvert. I like my own company. I like to think. I like to reflect, what have you. When I went to the Boys and Girls Club, it forced me to grow, because I was constantly surrounded by people my age. I was constantly surrounded by people who look like me. That was a first for me. People my age who walked and talked like I did, to be around them after school and be able to have fun without being restricted to sitting in a desk and learning from someone else. That was new for me, but I fell in love with it. And I think as soon as I got there, people started to realize that I had a natural gift to get along with people and to make friends quickly. And so they put me in a leadership role of having to give tours to potential donors, potential club members, and show them what the Boys and Girls Club could do. Now, I joined this Boys and Girls Club the summer before my 6th grade year. I was new to the club, and they asked me to go around and tell people, hey, this is the health, and this is the arts room, and this is the computer lab, and this is what we do here. This is how the club has impacted me. What that did was that showed me one of my gifts, one of my God-given gifts and abilities to do something well, which is public speaking. I tapped into that and I was scared while doing it. And so if you're going to do something, if you're going to apply for scholarships, I'm not telling you not to be fearful. I mean, yeah, you may have a little bit of doubt, a little bit of uncertainty, and be a little bit fearful. There's nothing wrong with that. But at some point in time, your work ethic, what I apply to is faith, has to override your fear. You have to do it scared, afraid, or full of confidence, whichever way you want to do it. And so I would do it, and inevitably by doing it, I got better at it over and over and over again. There were a lot of kinks that had to be worked out. But I say this to say they saw something in me, which I didn't see in myself at the time, because I had a lot of insecurities and a low self-esteem from being bullied in middle school and being bullied in elementary school because of the way I walked and talked. I'm a tomboy. I've been a tomboy my whole life. I've never been a girly girl. So all of that work, all of that selflessness in showing the club evolved into me having leadership positions within the club, being a spokesperson for the club, and inevitably impacting my community of Danville, Virginia because of my community service. Now, this is how you use this and apply it to your own situation. Go out and serve people. Now, I could say that and you go do community service and boom, everything's good. But I ask you to do this with with great intention. Do it intentionally. So, for instance, if you love computers and you love computer science, go find a business, a teacher, or someone who focuses on community service. So has a lot of interactions with computers, and ask them how you can help them. Ask them how you can be of service. Tell them you want to learn from them and you're preparing to apply for scholarships, so you're already applying for scholarships. And if you agree to do this service, can you track it and use it to win your scholarship essays? I just gave you a mouthful, but this is basically how it goes. Let's say, for instance, John he owns a business on the corner of Main Street that sells computers and fixes people's computers. Go ask John, can I come here on Saturdays when I'm not in school and volunteer for 2 hours? I will sweep your floor. I will I will open the door for your customers. I will straighten the shelves. You don't have to pay me a dime. I will do this community service for you in exchange for you teaching me a little bit about computers every single Saturday. Therefore, you are getting knowledge from John while also doing community service for 2 hours each Saturday. 2 hours each Saturday is very little time compared to the 168 hours you have in every single week. 2 hours each Saturday over the course of a month, 4 weeks in a month, you have 8 hours of community service from that one experience. But then on the other hand, you have knowledge and intellectual property that you can take and leverage and use it how you want to use it, because John's teaching you how to do computers and how computer science works. Okay, so there's something that goes hand in hand. In addition to that, you're tracking your community service with John, and you're going to use that to apply for these scholarships so you can go to college and learn about computer science and not have to pay for it, because you're going to win these scholarships and graduate debt free. You see how everything ties together and works together? If I'm making sense, drop a comment in the chat and let me know. And if you're not tracking your community service, please go to our website, doforDegrees.com. Our April 2018 scholarship newsletter has a community service log in there that you can track and use to win your scholarships. That's something you want to do. I said everything I said: influence, impact, leadership, and community service, because all of them go hand in hand. But when you learn how to combine leadership, impact, and community service together to get where you need to go, it will change your life forever. Now, this is how you really shift and distinguish yourself as a scholarship applicant in your writing. Is when you take that knowledge you gained from John and those community service hours you've earned by working with John selflessly, and you take that and you lead other people and teach them how to do the same thing. You go volunteer at the local homeless shelter, or you go volunteer at the local community center and spend 20 minutes each day teaching these kids about computer science. Or you start a YouTube channel and you talk about what you learned from John each day. Therefore, you're documenting what you've done. That's another element, because you take it from focusing on you, what can I get from you and what can I do for you, to focusing on a lot of people. How can I help these people grow and get where they need to go? And that's what I did in my scholarship essays. I went from teaching people about the Boys and Girls Club and helping them understand how it could impact their lives, to leading the people within the club who were my friends and helping them do well in school and encouraging the younger kids to keep a straight mind and focus on the sport they were focused on and putting in their hours and doing hard work, to translating that in my essays to how that had impacted me and changed me as a person. One of the biggest lessons I learned when I was doing my community service as a teenager and also leading other students was a leader doesn't have a quote unquote bad day. You'll never have a bad day. Now, I'm not saying you'll only have good days and the sun will always shine. That's not what I'm saying. But a leader knows that everything that's difficult and everything that's good is a lesson. Because if it's hard, that's your opportunity to take what you learn and teach other people to prepare them for whatever they're getting ready to go through or they're going through. I would translate that in my writing and say, I did more than 200 hours of community. I collected more than, well, no. I completed more than 200 hours of community service before my senior year of high school. And throughout that process, I learned how to be a leader. And our efforts included cleaning up one of the streets in my hometown that was predominantly full of elderly residents. We cleaned it up and we were selfless to make their day a little bit easier, to make their neighborhood and their street cleaner. We also led the movement on eliminating bullying from our school system by putting up posters in the hallways and encouraging people to not bully other people because it wasn't going to have a positive impact. We learned that we couldn't act a certain way and then tell people to act another way. Like, there's a lot of things I was able to say in my scholarship essays because of leadership, impact, and community service. So if you're not doing anything that's bigger than you, even if it's just starting a club or organization to teach people a little bit about the basics of community service, then your chances of standing out amongst your competition when it comes to applying for scholarships is a whole lot lower. I've said this before and I'll say it again. As a scholarship applicant, your job is to reflect the scholarship provider. I posted a blog earlier this week about a man who's from Iowa. He passed away. Before he passed away, he left $3 million to give away to local Iowan students who were going to college. He never went to college and he worked a blue-collar job. He was very frugal and he saved more than $3 million. And he left that $3 million and he actually helped 33 students from Iowa go to college and graduate without any debt. Those students went on to be doctors, lawyers, what have you. You can go read the whole story. It's on Dope for Degrees website on our blog. He did something that was bigger than him. At the time, it may look like, yeah, I'm going to work. I'm going to clock my hours. I'm going to eat my lunch. I'm going to go home. Boom, boom, boom. But the whole time, he was thinking about how he could be selfless and impact other people. And therefore, he impacted someone's life drastically because now they don't have to worry about how they're going to pay for college. And I promise you, those people are going to do the same thing, whether it's in the same method, same approach, or in a different approach to help other people. That story, that legacy is going to outlive him because he had an impact on someone. He changed the way they saw life. He evolved their thinking pattern. He shifted the way they operated. He did something that was bigger than him, no matter what it cost. Okay? That's what I'm saying. What's up, TMH? Peace. I hope all is well. That's what I'm saying. True leadership has an impact. It's bigger than influence. It's bigger than just saying, oh, look what I got. If as a leader, if you ever say you got a problem. Because a leader is always knows it's about we, us, together we're stronger, da, da, da. It's never about you. You're the last person on the totem pole. The last person. You help my mentor Thomas is in the chat. He says, if you help enough people win, you'll never really need help because someone will always help you win. It's the truth. So that is my lesson for today on leadership, influence, impact, and community service. Once again, if you're not doing community service and you expect to win scholarships, you're not taking the best approach. Be selfless and be able to talk about that in your scholarship essays. I promise you, it will increase your chances of winning. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? Drop them in the comment box below. We have 8 minutes before we end this chat today. I hope that made sense what I said. I hope it was helpful. If not, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to correct it and make sure that everything makes sense. What else was I going to say today? Today is December 1. It is the last month of 2019. It is the last month of 2019. It has been a great year. It's been full of ups and downs, but it's full of lessons that I needed to learn. I hope the same for you. It was full of ups and downs, because if you're always up, then it's not training you for how to work and navigate when you're down. And if you're always down, you have to have the faith and believe that you can go up. But no, life is a journey. Life is not an escalator to success. It's a journey. There'll be ups and downs, but each step of the journey teaches you something you need to carry on to the next step and the next level, and also help the people who you're supposed to be helping. 2019, this month, our main objective has been since October to get people to apply for the YFL Scholarship, the Youth Financial Literacy Foundation Scholarship. The first place award is $25,000. If you're not applying for that scholarship and you're a high school senior or a first year college freshman, please go ahead and apply for that scholarship. They're giving away $400,000 in scholarships this year. This year, they're giving away $400,000 in scholarships. I dropped a video in November talking about how to win the YFL Scholarship. It has a 25-question financial exam and a 500-word essay. There are 3 essay topics you can choose from. You pick one, you write a 500-word essay. You can look up all the answers to all 25 questions on Google. You can ask your parents, whatever. Doesn't matter. You just got to fill it out correctly and get it to the organization by December 14th. So once again, we have 2 weeks to get that done. It's not too late. I dropped a video I wrote a blog last year talking about how to complete that scholarship in 4 days. If you come across it at the last minute or you put it off to the last minute, how do you complete a scholarship in 4 days or even a day or 2 days? But it's better to do it early, take a break from it, look at it, make sure you have quality work to correct any errors that you have before you submit it and turn it in. Okay. So that is something that I hope everyone takes the time to work on. They take the time to apply for. I'm here to help. If you need to get in contact with me, I'm going to go back and edit this video and put in the links that I need to put in the description box by tomorrow, so that you can get in contact with me. I know you can go to the website, dofordegrees.com, click on the FAQ tab, click on the contact tab, schedule an appointment if you want to talk with me. You'll have my calendar already to know when I'm free. You can just pick the time that works best for you. Side note, I hope everyone had a good Turkey Day. Those of you who refer to it as Thanksgiving, what have you, I hope you had a fantastic holiday. Don't allow this time of the year when everyone is relaxing and kicking back and kicking off their shoes to relax, to distract you. Finish strong. I don't care what holiday it is. I don't care whose birthday it is. I don't care what party is going on. If you made a commitment to apply for scholarships to go to college and graduate debt-free, stick to your commitment. I applied for scholarships during the holidays. I applied for scholarship at the table when everyone was eating because I knew I had a deadline to beat, and that deadline was my graduation date. I needed to earn X amount of scholarships so I could go to college or finish college without any student loans. Sometimes your commitment, well, all the time, your commitment has to override your comfort, because the worst feeling you can ever have in life is regret. Regret is something that will eat you alive because you can't go back and change anything about the past. It's you have to live with your present circumstances, live in the present, and do something to impact your future. I say it all the time, but stick to your commitment. Stay to it. If you're applying for scholarships, I dropped a video, was it last week, when people ask me all the time, how many scholarships should I submit? It's about your time commitment. How many hours are you putting into the scholarship process each week? Then from there, determine how many scholarships you're going to submit each week. Because one of the best ways to win is to be consistent. It's to do the same thing every single week. For me, I would submit on average 3 scholarships each week. When I was in high school, I was putting in like 40 hours per week on scholarships. And when I was in college, I was putting in between 10 and 15 hours each semester. But I would consistently submit 3 scholarships each week. 3 scholarships each week, whether it was raining, snowing, sleeting, ice on the ground, it didn't matter. 3 scholarships each week. That was better than me saying I'm going to submit a scholarship when I feel like it, or I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. It didn't matter what happened in life. I had to hit that goal every week, 3 scholarships each week. And I saw the fruit from my labor of putting in that time and being consistent. For me personally, this is something I've struggled with fitness. I don't like going to the gym, but I got up this morning. It was pouring down rain outside. It was cold. I went to the gym, exercised for 30 minutes. My goal for this year has been to see my abs. I want to have a 6-pack. I got 30 days to get it together. And so I said I'm gonna have to go to the gym and work out 30 minutes each day, even when I don't feel like it. Now, six packs don't mean a lot to me, but it's an example of consistency, being consistent. It will come. And so if you haven't made a commitment to persevere and push throughout the scholarship process, then it will be hard for you to be consistent. But because before you're consistent, you'll have to know what you're being consistent for and why you're being consistent. And that's tied to you having a commitment. So I hope what I'm saying is making sense. As always, please drop a comment in the chat. Let me know if you have a question, concern, or anything. This month, we don't have any speaking engagements coming up, but we do have the class in Maryland in February. I'll be an adjunct professor at the College of Southern Maryland in February. You can go check out our website, doughfordegrees.com, and check out the events tab. There's a tab under that says upcoming and past events to see where we're going, where we've been, and where we'll be next. Actually, I'll take that back. I might be in Philadelphia December 14th. I might be for a community service event, the In My Bag tour, maybe collaborating with the organization in Philadelphia to give coats, jackets to some Philadelphia residents. So we're trying to work out the details of that to see how that's going to go. Those are the only updates I have, to be honest with y'all. I'm glad we had a chance to talk today. Thank you for your time and your attention. I will see you throughout the upcoming week with new content, new videos. And I will also see you on next Sunday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all have a fantastic day. Love you. Talk to you soon.